Everyone says university will be the best years of your life. It'll be the years where you make friends for life. It'll be the time where you make memories that you cherish forever. You'll grow. But for me and my experience, I don't completely agree. I'm not saying I had a terrible time, but I'm just saying I don't completely agree with those statements. Yo, it's a potato. And before I get into the topic, I want to tell you what my goal is for this episode, and it's going to be to mine a little bit more, get some more iron, and then get out of this cave and find a nice location where I could start building my house. Before I tell you about my university experience, I think a little backstory is needed. So, I was born and raised in Thailand. So from birth to the end of high school, that's where I lived. And that's all I knew. When I was applying to universities, I was applying to the UK and America only. And I ended up getting lucky and getting into a great university in the UK. So that's what I ended up going for. And I'm sure you can imagine moving across the world, how big of a change that could be for someone. And it was a huge change. The course I ended up doing was management, and that's honestly because I had no idea what I wanted to do in university, and a lot of my friends chose to do management, and I just thought, you know, why not? It seems like the way to go if you have no idea what to do, so I went for it as well. It was a 3-year course, but I think that's normal for the UK. I think most courses are 3 years. When the time came for me to move to the UK for university, I ended up arriving to the UK late. And this was out of my control, and it's actually an interesting story, but I'll get into that in another video. But there's so many mobs. Yeah, so as I was saying, I ended up arriving late, and that's all you need to know for this story, and I'll definitely get into it for another video. Arriving late might not seem like the craziest thing in the world, but what happened was I missed Freshers Week, and if you don't know what that is, in the UK, at most universities it lasts 1 week, but for me it lasts 2. And it's a week where people just party the whole week, and that's where they make their initial friends at university. And I ended up reaching 2 weeks late, meaning I just missed out on Freshers, and I was devastated because the last year of high school, my friends who knew about Freshers were hyping it up so much, and I was so excited because they were saying things like it'll be the best week of our lives, you know, we're gonna go crazy, we're gonna go ham. Yeah, so I was so hyped up about it. Being so hyped about it to completely missing it, I'm sure you can tell why I was sad. Oh, that's a lot of people. I'm gonna move this way, don't mind me. Hope they don't follow me. Oh yeah, they did. They most definitely did. They most definitely followed me. Holy shit, this is not good. 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 Okay. What do I even do here? I hope. Oh my god! There's so much going on. I need to get out of here. How much iron do I have? 20. You know what? That's perfect. Sorry, I got so distracted there. Where was I? So when I officially moved into my dorm, everyone already made friends and they had their little friend groups, so I felt a bit left out on my first day. But I went in with the mindset that everyone's in the same situation and I'm only 2 weeks late. You know, it's everyone's first time at university as well, so I was very open to introducing myself to people and just talking to people, which is very out of character and out of my comfort zone, because if you ask anyone I know, I am not an outgoing person at all, and I usually don't do things like that, but in the first few weeks I was very willing to do it. An example of this is actually on the first night of university. I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw a poker night was being held, so I just decided to go. I got absolutely destroyed in the tournament, but I still got to talk to some people, and even after I lost, I stayed on the table for a little bit and I chatted with some people. I never ended up seeing them again, but I went to bed that first night excited that I got to talk to people, and you know, that's the most I could ask for. In the upcoming weeks, I made a few friends from my dorm. Nothing special, like I wasn't very close to them, but if we saw each other in the corridor, we would say hi, and sometimes we would go get dinner together. But as I said, they weren't that close. But luckily for me, I actually had a friend from high school, a very good friend of mine, who was at another university, but it was only a 20-minute train ride away. So for the first few weeks of me arriving to the UK, he actually came over quite a lot, and we went out partying so much in the first few weeks, and honestly it was amazing. It was such a good time. I was so happy that university was going great. I even forgot that I missed Freshers, to be honest. But the thing was, this was only on the weekends and I was just living off the high of that. But there were so many days, so many weekdays where my day would pretty much be me waking up, going to my class, coming back home, and then just being in my room the whole time. And when it would come to nighttime, I would hear people through the thin walls having so much fun. I would see people out the window with big groups and them just doing fun things, right? Being alone in those situations is a feeling of loneliness that I never ever experienced in my life before that. Back in high school, if I wanted to meet a friend, I would just go meet a friend, and I would live with my family, so I had close people around me all the time. Another time where I would feel lonely in university is when I would go to the canteen by myself to eat dinner, and I don't know why that's so embarrassing. It shouldn't be an embarrassing feeling, you know, you're just getting food, but for some reason, and I'm sure some of you relate, when you get food by yourself with a room of people that are all in groups, it just feels so embarrassing that you're sitting by yourself. And sometimes I'd be sitting on another table with people, but there'll be a chair apart from the group and me, and it felt extremely lonely. In second year, I ended up moving into a flat with 3 random people. I got very lucky that they were genuinely the nicest people I've ever met. But the thing was, they all were doing their masters while I was in second year. So there wasn't much in common and we never ended up getting close, but they were extremely nice. And towards the end of first year and the whole of second year, I had a friend from high school, another friend that moved to the same city as me, but to a different university, and he had a small friend group and I just became part of that friend group pretty much through him. And we would go party every single week, right? I'm so focused on telling the story that I'm just standing completely still. Yeah, we would go party every week. You know, at first it was amazing. Like, this was so cool. It's the university experience. But after a while, it wasn't enjoyable anymore. I felt like I was forcing myself to go just because it was like a once in a lifetime situation and I'm in university, why not go out? But I was genuinely not enjoying my time. The good thing about second year though was that I learned how to cook and oh fucking hell. The good thing about second year was I learned how to cook and clean. As in first year I had the canteen, so I didn't have to cook, and we had cleaners, so I never really had to clean. So, you know, second year was a year where I grew a lot because I learned how to be independent, and you know, that's a great skill to have. And you might be wondering how I'm this far into the video already and I actually haven't mentioned the studying aspect of university, the most important thing about university. But the truth was, in first year and second year, I just truly did not care about going to lectures and what my grades were. Luckily, I still ended up getting good grades in those years, but I definitely could have got way better grades if I just studied a bit. But the thing is, when it comes to studying since a young age, I've never ever been motivated to do it. I just physically can't get myself to do it. So in third year, I moved into a flat with the friend I mentioned before that was in the same city. And honestly, this year was probably my favorite year. It was extremely fun. I focused on going to lectures more. In fact, I think like for the first 5 weeks, I didn't even miss a single lecture, which was actually crazy. I'm sure it's not crazy for most of you, but for me at the time, that was a big achievement. And also, I didn't feel the pressure to go on many night outs, so that probably was one of the reasons why I enjoyed it so much, actually. You know, I focused more on lectures, but I still wasn't studying. That's never gonna change, I think. And as I said, it was probably my favorite year out of the 3 years of university, and I learned that I love living with my close friends, and honestly, I'm hoping one day I get to do it again, because it was so cool. And that's pretty much it when it comes to my university experience. Obviously, I summarized it big time, and there were actually a lot of stories that I'll go into in the future and in future videos, because there are some hilarious stories I haven't mentioned yet. My key takeaways from my university experience are that I genuinely did not regret the 3 years, right? I thought it was amazing. I had a great time, and if I had to do it again, I would. It was so good. But I ended up not making too many friends, like actually at university. I tried my best in first year, but second year and third year I started to give up. But luckily for me, I actually had a lot of high school friends that ended up moving to the UK as well. We were pretty much scattered across the UK at different universities, but it was amazing to have them, and obviously we met up sometimes. And yeah, it was actually kind of crazy how I stayed super close to them. I've actually had a conversation with my sister recently where we were talking about friends, right? And she said how most of her friends, like most of her close friends, were actually made at university. But for me, it's the complete opposite. All my friends were made at high school, and they still are like my closest friends, and I think they will always be my closest friends for the rest of my life. I genuinely see them as brothers, and you know, I love those boys, and I hope they're in my lives forever. Great. Oh, I will save this for another day. Actually, this looks great. I don't want to go into the mine again. A great thing was that I became more independent, as I said before. And honestly, I wouldn't say university was the best years of my life, right? I'm not gonna lie and say that. If I had to choose, it's definitely the last 2 years of high school. They were so good. They were amazing, and I'll probably get into that in another video as well. But they weren't the worst either. I made so many memories, and memories I'll cherish for the rest of my life. But all the memories that I did make were with my high school friends and on with the university friends. And you know, that's fine with me because there's still memories, and it's memories with my closest friends. And honestly, some of them are so funny, and I'll definitely be sharing them. And I'm sure there are moments I'll even tell my grandkids because those stories are incredible. But to wrap this up, university had a lot of highs and a lot of lows. Oh, that shit is on fire. I think this would be a great place to build a base. I like how there's land surrounding it and there's just water in the middle. And I'll probably make my house here, at least to start with. As I was saying, I think university was a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and I'm sure most people feel that way as well. But you know what I did wrong was throughout my years I was just looking at social media and seeing what my colleagues were posting, and they made their life seem so good. You know, you can't use social media to compare your experiences, obviously, because people just post the best things in their lives. Oh, that's actually the 30-minute timer I was talking about. Yo, why'd that kind of go hard? Yeah, I'll just finish this off real quick. You know, I'm sure a lot of people feel that way, right? But using social media to compare experiences definitely isn't smart, but a lot of people fall into that trap, and I was one of those people. And that's where I'm going to end the video, guys. Let me know in the comments if you've experienced anything similar, or just your opinions on whatever I've said. And if you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. And honestly, if you're watching till now, you might as well watch the video that just popped up. Or don't, it's obviously up to you. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great night. Peace.